Depth of objects. Part 1. Today we will learn how to measure the depth of objects. Vandana, don't go to the park to play during the rainy season. Play here at home.
Why, Papa?
I went for a walk in the park this morning and noticed that the constant downpour has formed deep pits in the park, and you may hurt yourself while playing.
Okay, Papa. But how deep are the pits?
I didn't have the scale, but it seemed to me about 15 centimeters to a meter deep.
15 centimeters to 1 meter. But usually centimeters and meters are used to measure the length and width. Why are you telling the depth in centimeters and meters, Papa?
Because depth is also measured in meters, centimeters and kilometers.
Can you please explain, Papa? I did not understand.
Look, Vandana, different qualities of objects are measured. The length, width and height of a brick is measured. In the same way, the depth of the pit is measured.
What are the objects in our house whose depth can be measured?
There are many objects in our house whose depth can be measured. Look at that cupboard. The depth of a cupboard is very useful measurement because more the depth of a cupboard is, there will be more space for storage.
Oh, so it is not necessary that we only measure the depth of those objects which are below ground.
Yes, Vandana. For instance, depth is also measured in kitchen utensils because they are filled with goods. The deeper the utensil, the more quantity it can hold. The depth of a vessel helps in determining what could be stored in it.
What are the other objects whose depth can be measured?
Look, you have already discovered examples of pits, cupboards and kitchen utensils whose depth is measured. Similarly, the depth of the well is measured. The depth of the sea is measured. The depth of the pond is measured and the depth of a planter is also measured.
Okay, and the depth of all these is measured in centimeters and meters?
Yes, and it can be measured in kilometers as well.
Distance is measured in kilometers. What can be so deep to be measured in kilometers, Papa?
Do you know, Vandana, there are some areas in the sea which are more than 3 kilometers deep.
More than 3 kilometers deep. This is too much.
There are many objects in nature which surprise us. In the next class, you will study about these objects. Now tell me whether you understood what centimeter, meter and kilometer can be used to measure.
Yes, Papa. The length, width, height, depth and distance of objects are measured in centimeters, meters and kilometers.
Today we learned centimeter, meter and kilometer units are used to measure the length, width, height and distance of objects, and how to measure the depths of objects.
Relation between liter and milliliter. Today, we will learn about the relation between measuring units of liquid, liter and milliliter. Hello, I am Wise Owl. Welcome to the forest. All the animals of the forest come to me for suggestions and advices. Today, I will tell you about the units, liter and milliliters to measure liquids. Hey, you all are panting. From where are you all coming?
We were playing in the forest and we are running from there only. We all are very thirsty. Would you please give us some water?
Yes, sure. you all will get water.
I will drink 1 drum of water. I want a bucket of water. I will drink a big vessel of water.
I want a bowl of water.
Thanks for giving us water. We all were very thirsty.
Friends, I hope all of you have quenched your thirst.
How many kilograms of water did you drink?
Hey, liquids are not measured in kilograms.
Then how?
We measure liquids in liters and milliliters.
What is liters and milliliters?
Liters and milliliters are units used to measure liquids. There are 1000 milliliters in a liter.
1000 milliliter.
Yes,
I drank 1000 milliliter of water.
you have drank more than 5 liters of water, nearly about 5 liters.
Did I also drink more than a liter of water?
No, Cat Queen. You have drank even less than half a liter of water. Let me explain this to you in some detail. Look carefully at these vessels and fill these blanks according to the given measurement. Kids, you can pause the video to find out the answer.
First I will tell.
Tell.
Drum, because it is the largest of all and can carry 200 ml of liquid. Oh no. Just now Sir has told that milliliter is smaller than liters. 1000 milliliters makes 1 liter. So 2000 milliliter is much less than 1 liter.
So, according to you, what will be the right answer?
According to me, a drum has a capacity of 20 liters.
Very good.
Okay, so the capacity of bowl will be 200 ml.
Right. Now you all have got it.
Capacity of bucket is 5 liters. And capacity of utensil is 2 liters.
Very good, kids.
Sir, please show some more examples.
Look, I have 2 bottles of cold drink and these empty bottles of 1 liter and 100 milliliter. Now you try to pour this cold drink in this empty bottle.
We cannot put 500 ml in a 100 milliliter bottle.
Now try to put this in the empty bottle of 1 liter.
Oh, it became full now.
Yes. So what have we learned from this?
2 500 liters of bottles make a liter.
Yes, right. Means on adding 500 milliliter to 500 milliliter, we get 1000 liters. 500 ml is also known as half a liter.
Sir, can you give some more examples?
Okay. I will recite a story to all of you. Pinky and Bholu live in the village with their parents. Pinky and Bholu got very thirsty while returning from school.
Mom, I'm very thirsty.
Okay, I'll make lemonade for everyone.
We will also help you in making lemonade.
Mother makes 1 liter of lemonade with the help of Bholu and Pinky and fills it in 4 glasses.
Okay, I'll make lemonade for everyone. Now tell me, if I divide 1 liter of lemonade into 4 equal parts, how many quantity of lemonade will everyone get?
400 ml.
No, this is not right. You tell Bholu.
I don't know. Please, you explain, Mom.
How many milliliters are there in a liter?
1000 milliliters.
Correct. Now if I fill these two glasses, then how much lemonade will be left in the jug?
Half the jug is still full.
What is the half of a liter?
Kids, you can pause the video and think about the answer.
ml.
This means 2 glasses contains 500 ml of lemonade.
Yes, Mom.
Can you tell how much lemonade is in 1 glass?
Half of 500 ml.
Very good. So what's that?
Kids, you can pause the video and think about the answer.
We have to divide 500 by 2. 250?
Very good, Bholu.
Daddy, we all got 250 ml of lemonade.
Meanwhile, 2 friends of Pinky arrive. We should give lemonade to our friends too. Why don't we share a part of our lemonade with them?
Look, in total we have 2 glasses of lemonade.
Then how much lemonade will we all get?
As Mom explained, we have 500 ml of lemonade.
You mean half a liter?
Yes, let's divide 500 by 4.
Kids, you can pause the video and think about the answer.
Look, we all will have 125 ml of lemonade.
Oh wow, Pinky! You have solved this too quickly.
Today, we have learnt about the relation between measuring units of liquid, liter and milliliter. Relation between liter and milliliter. In the last video, we have learnt about the relationship between liter and milliliter. In this video, we will learn about how to make 1 liter by combining different units. Do you know? Mixing 500 ml twice gives 1 liter.
Yes, sir.
Are there any other units which on adding gives 1 liters?
Sir, ask a bit more clearly. I couldn't understand.
For example, do you think that glasses of 250 ml can be combined to form 1 liter?
Yes, it can be made. No, I don't think so. 1 liter can be made out of 250 ml.
So, let's see how 250 ml and other units can be combined to form a liter. These 2 glasses have 250 ml of water. If both of them combines, how much water will we have?
500 ml water.
Yes, you are right, Elephant. If we combine 2 more glasses of 500 ml water in it, then how much total water will we have?
500 milliliter and 500 milliliter means 1000 milliliter means 1 liter.
Yes, correct. Now see, in one bottle, we have 200 ml of oil and in the other, we have 300 milliliter of oil. Now tell me, to fill a 1000 milliliter bottle or 1 liter bottle, how much oil will you need?
Is the answer 400 ml?
Look carefully. On adding, it gives 500 milliliter, So adding one more 500 milliliter will form 1 liter.
Bholu, your answer is right. Now tell, how many 100 milliliters will add up to 1 liter?
Adding 100 ml up to 10 times makes 1000 milliliter. Means 10 multiplied by 100 milliliter gives 1 liter.
Now, answer one more question of mine. This bottle contains 200 ml of water. How many times 200 milliliter bottles should be added to give 1000 ml of water?
I know that adding 200 milliliter for 5 times give 1000 milliliter or 1 liter. So, if in this bottle we pour 200 milliliter of water for 4 times, then it will become 1 liter.
Very good, elephant. 5 times will make 1 liter. See this. We have 400 milliliter of milk. We need 1000 milliliter or 1 liter milk. Now look, these are the packets of 200 milliliter, 300 milliliter and 400 milliliter. Which 3 identical packets will combine to make 1000 milliliter?
Is the answer 300 ml? On combining, I think it will make 1000 ml.
I think the correct answer is 200 milliliter. Mixing 3 packets of 200 milliliter makes 600 milliliter. And mixing these 600 ml with 400 ml will make 1 liter.
Yes, right. We can see that not only 500 milliliter but many more units can be combined to form a liter.
Yes, sir. We got it.
So kids, today we have learned how to make 1 liter by combining different units.
Introduction to Centimeter, Part 1. Today we will learn how to measure length and how to find if an object is shorter, longer, or of equal length compared to any other object. Neha and Vandana are playing with sand today and building a fort for their dolls.
Look, Vandana, I have made a fort for our dolls. Oh wow, this looks very beautiful. Come, let's make our dolls sit in this fort. Hey, this fort is small for your doll. Your doll can be seen above the fort. Yes, you should have checked the height of my doll before building the fort. Yes, you are right. Let's make another fort in which even your doll can easily fit in. Tell me, what is the height of your doll, Vandana? I don't know. Let's measure it now. Look, the height of my doll is 15 centimeter. Let us find the height of my doll too. The height of your doll is 10 centimeter. What is the height of the fort? The height of the fort is 12 centimeter. That's why your doll was not fitting in the fort. We will have to build a 15 centimeter tall fort for your doll. Let's build it. Now the fort is ready. Let's measure it. The height of the fort is 15 centimeters now. That means both our dolls will completely fit in this fort now, right? Now our dolls will fit in this fort easily. Did you notice one thing? What? That my doll is taller than your doll. Yes, but how much taller is your doll than my doll? That's easy to find. Your doll is 10 centimeter tall and my doll is 15 centimeter tall. If we subtract the height of your doll, which is 10 centimeters, from the height of my doll, which is 15 centimeters, we will come to know how much shorter is your doll from my doll. If we subtract 10 from 15, we will get 5. That means your doll is 5 centimeters taller than my doll. Yes, and we can also say that your doll is 5 centimeters shorter than my doll. Yes. Now if I want to get a doll which is the same size as that of your doll, then I have to buy a doll of 15 centimeters. Yes, and if you want to buy a doll taller than my doll, then you have to buy a doll taller than 15 centimeters. It means that if I want to buy a doll which is of the same size as that of your doll, then I need not carry your doll. I just have to carry the scale, right? No, there is no need to carry the scale too. You can easily ask for a doll of 15 centimeters. That's right. Does this mean that the measurement of centimeters is same in every scale? Yes, but with such a small scale, we can only measure objects that are up to 15 centimeters in length. If we want to measure objects longer than 15 centimeters, then how do we do it? I believe there are longer scales available. Yes, but where will we get longer scales from? Why don't we ask Papa tomorrow? Maybe he knows. Yes, let us do that.
Today we learned that centimeters are used to measure height. By measuring objects, we can find whether an object is shorter, longer, or of equal height compared to other objects. Introduction to Centimeter, Part 2. Today we will learn that there are different types of scales and different scales are used to measure objects of different lengths.
Hello, Uncle.
Hello, Vandana.
Papa, we want to ask you something.
Tell me, what do you want to know?
Yesterday we were measuring the height of our doll. We used centimeters to measure the height. But the scale we had was only 15 centimeters long. We want to know how to measure some object if it is more than 15 centimeters long. Is there a scale that is longer than 15 centimeters?
Yes, and I have it. You can go to your room and I'll bring it there. Your toys can also be measured with this scale. Look, I have these 3 scales.
Even we have this scale, Papa. Yes, and this is the scale we used yesterday to measure our dolls.
This scale can only measure objects which are up to 15 centimeters in length. Now look at this scale and tell objects of what length can be measured using this scale.
Papa, it has a mark up to 30 centimeters on it. That means it can measure objects up to 30 centimeters length, right?
Absolutely right.
Come, let us measure our toys, Vandana. I will measure the length of my toy giraffe. Now let us see what is its length. Your giraffe is 25 centimeters tall. Now I will measure the height of my bear. Now let's see what is its height. Your bear is 20 centimeters tall.
Can you both tell how short is the bear than the giraffe?
Yes, Uncle. We will subtract the height of the bear from the height of the giraffe. The height of the giraffe is 25 centimeters and the height of the bear is 20 centimeters. Subtracting 20 centimeters from 25 centimeters will leave us with 5 centimeters. This means that the giraffe is 5 centimeters taller than the bear.
You both answered it correctly.
But Papa, if we want to measure something longer than 30 centimeters, how will we measure it?
For that, we will use this scale.
But Uncle, this scale is very small.
No, this scale is very long. So long that it can measure your height.
Our height? With this scale? How?
To use this scale, the handle outside it has to be held and pulled. Pulling this handle brings the scale out. And with this scale, we can measure the height.
Uncle, can you measure our height?
Sure, you both stand against the wall. Neha, your height is 138 centimeters. And Vandana, your height is 140 centimeters.
This scale is very good. With this, we can measure long objects. Can we take this scale? We will measure the length of more objects, Papa.
Why not? You can keep this scale with you. Today we have seen 3 types of scales which are used to measure length. And different scales are used to measure various objects according to their length. Introduction to Centimeter, Part 3. Today we will learn how to use a scale correctly to measure objects and how to measure objects correctly using a broken scale.
I think your pencil is shorter than my pencil. It looks equal to me. Let us measure and see. I will measure my pencil and you measure yours. My pencil is 10 centimeters long. Now you measure your pencil. My pencil is 12 centimeters long. I told you, my pencil is longer than your pencil. It should not be because both our pencils are new. Show me. See. Now I know why this is happening. What did you understand? Look, you have placed the bottom end of your pencil at 2 centimeters, while I have placed the bottom end of my pencil at 0 centimeters. What difference does that make? It leads to incorrect measurements. To measure the correct length of objects using a scale, we should place their lower end at 0, like I have done. Oh, I understand now. The problem with keeping the pencil at 2 centimeters is that there is no pencil from 0 centimeters to 2 centimeters. And I included that length as well in the measurement. Now I'll correct it. I'll keep the pencil at 0 centimeter. Yes, it's correct. Now you will be able to tell the exact length of the pencil. My pencil is also 10 centimeters. Let's measure some more objects. Oh, your scale is broken. How will I measure the length of objects now? I think we can measure the length of objects with this broken scale too. How? Let us try and measure the pencil with this broken scale. We start counting from the least centimeter mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Why is the pencil measuring 11 centimeters? We just measured it. It was 10 centimeters then. It means we have made some mistake. Let's do one thing. Let's try to measure this pencil with the correct scale. Then we might come to know our mistake. I will start counting again. 1. Wait! What happened? Look, the correct scale has a 0 written at the starting point. While measuring with the broken scale, we are starting from 1. This means whenever we measure using a broken scale, we will still start from 0. Yes, let's measure now. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. 10 centimeters. Now the measurement is correct. We need to remember these 2 rules while measuring any object. The 0 centimeter point of the scale will be placed at the beginning of the object, and to measure an object, we will start from 0 marking on the scale.
Introduction to Kilometer, Part 1. Today we will learn what is a kilometer, where is a kilometer used, and what is the relation between kilometer and meter. Ayushman? Ayushman!
Yes, Papa.
This time we are going to Nainital on a trip.
Oh, really?
Yes, see, this is the train ticket.
Let me see. How far is it?
It is approximately 300 kilometers from here.
300 meters?
No, Ayushman, 300 kilometers.
What does kilometer mean? In our class, they only taught us about meters.
Just like meters, kilometers are also used to measure length.
So is kilometers, like meters and centimeters, is a unit to measure the length?
Yes,
But centimeters are used to measure objects of short length and meters to measure long lengths. Then why another unit?
because if we want to measure very long lengths, then it is not practical to use meter.
Like what things?
Like the distance between two cities.
I didn't understand.
Okay, I'll explain. First, tell me, how many centimeters are there in a meter?
There are 100 centimeters in a meter.
Similarly, there are 1000 meters in a kilometer.
Then 1,000 meters is a lot.
Yes, much more than the meter.
Our school sports competition had 1,000 meters race. So the people who participated in it ran 1 kilometer?
Yes,
Then 1 kilometer is a lot because the people running in it were very tired.
and Nainital is 300 kilometers away. As it is so far, we are going by train.
If 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters, how many meters away is Nainital?
It is very easy to calculate. Multiply it by 1000 to convert kilometer into meters.
To convert 300 kilometers into meters, I have to multiply 300 by 1,000.
Yes, then how many meters is it?
On multiplying 300 by 1,000, the answer is 3 lakh meters. It means we will go 3 lakh meters away.
That's why we say it's 300 kilometers away.
But how can I remember it that there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer, Papa?
For this, you just need to remember that kilo means 1000. Then kilometer will mean 1000 meters.
Yes, now it will be easy to remember. But if we are given in meter, how will we convert it into kilometers?
Very easy to convert meters into kilometers divided by 1000. For example, if 1000 meters is to be converted into kilometers divided by 1000, the answer will be 1 kilometer.
Got it!
Now check on the internet what all is worth visiting in Nainital and start planning so we don't miss anything. Today we learned that the kilometer is a unit of length measurement. There are 1000 meters in a kilometer. The given value is multiplied by 1000 to convert kilometer into meters. And the meter is divided by 1000 to convert to kilometers. Introduction to Kilometer, Part 2. Today you will learn how distance can be written with 2 units and how can you add or subtract 2 lengths given in 2 units.
I'm going on a trip to Nainital. Really? And we are going to Jaipur. Nainital is 300 kilometers away from here. Is that so? And Jaipur is 280 kilometers away. I thought you would ask what a kilometer is. No, I know that. Kilometer is a unit of length measurement. Yesterday my papa told me. Papa told me yesterday too. If Nainital is 300 kilometers and Jaipur is 280 kilometers away, then the distance between Jaipur and Nainital is only 20 kilometers. That means we can also visit Jaipur while going to Nainital. Tell your papa that we can go to both the places as the distance between them is only 20 kilometers. Papa, This time we should go to visit Jaipur along with Nainital.
No, the distance between the two is a lot. Let's go to Nainital and we will go to Jaipur some other time.
No, Papa, the distance between Nainital and Jaipur is not much. Only 20 kilometers.
No, Ayushman, there is a distance of 580 kilometers between the two.
No, Rehansh and I have calculated. Nainital is 300 kilometers and Jaipur is 280 kilometers away. If we subtract both, then only 20 kilometers will be left.
Yes, but when both are added, then it's 580 kilometers.
Yes, but why add?
Look, we are here. And if we go 300 kilometers towards right, we will come to Nainital. And if you go 280 kilometers left from here, we will come to Jaipur. Now tell me, how far is Jaipur from Nainital?
The distance between the two is 580 kilometers.
That's why we cannot go to Jaipur this time. We'll go later.
Okay, Dad.
I ask you another question related to distance.
Sure?
My office is 3 kilometers 400 meters away from here. What does it mean?
I know that. We can also tell the length using two different units. And this means that your office is 3 kilometers and 400 meters away.
You are right. Now tell me how far I have to go to the office and come back.
You go 3 kilometers 400 meters to go to the office and then 3 kilometers 400 meters back. So we will add these two numbers.
All right. Now add.
But I cannot understand how they will be added.
Look, we can add numbers only when their units are the same. So here we will add the value of meter to the meter and we will add the value of kilometers to kilometers.
If you just add the value of the meter, the answer will be 800 meters. And adding the value of kilometers, the answer will be 6 kilometers. This means that you travel 6 kilometers 800 meters to go to and come back from the office.
Ayushman, you're absolutely right. One more question. How much less have I traveled from 7 kilometers?
If 6 kilometers 800 meters is deducted from 7 kilometers, the answer to your question will be known.
Absolutely right. Now subtract.
If there is no meter written along with the 7 kilometer, then how can we deduct it? I cannot understand that.
It's easy too. Do one thing. Convert both distances into meters.
To convert 7 kilometers into meters, we will multiply 1000 into it. So here it is 7000 meters. Just like that, multiplying by 1000 in 6 kilometers, the answer will come 6000 meters. And adding 800 meters to it, the answer will be 6800 meters.
Absolutely right. Now they can be subtracted because the units of both are the same.
The answer after subtracting them is 200 meters. That is, you have to cover a distance of 200 meters more to walk 7 kilometers a day.
Well done, Ayushman. Today you learned that distance or length can also be written in two units. Example, 3 kilometers, 400 meters. Values of two lengths can be added or subtracted only when they are written in a single unit. Introduction to Kilometer. Part 3. Today you will learn about how lengths are added and how to use multiple units to show the same length.
What are you doing, Papa?
I am writing the length of the wall of my factory
But why?
because we have to get the wired boundary to protect the building.
But how long is the boundary of your factory?
Come, help me find it out. Look, on this paper, I have drawn the boundary of all sides of the factory and written its length. Now, can you help me add it?
Okay, the boundary of your office is a square and the length is the same on all sides. That is 352 meters and 63 centimeters. So to get the boundary's length, we will multiply it by 4.
Very good. See what comes after multiplying?
63 multiplied by 4 will give 252 centimeters.
All right.
And multiplying 4 into 352 meters will be 1408 meters. This means that the boundary of your office is 1408 meters and 252 centimeters.
According to calculations, what you have said is correct, Ayushman. But it can be written in a better manner.
How?
Look, at the values in meters, you have written 1408 meters. But because it is more than 1,000 meters, it can also be written in kilometers.
Oh yes, I did not think this. I'll do it now. To convert 1408 meters into kilometers, it will be divided by 1000.
Yes, so what is the answer?
The answer is 1 kilometer 408 meters.
But Ayushman, the value in centimeter is also more than 100. Don't you think it can be written in meters too?
Oh yes, it can be written.
Then what are you thinking? Write it down.
To convert the value in centimeters to meters, one has to divide it by 100. And 252 divided by 100 will be 2 meters 52 centimeters.
Absolutely correct. Now tell me, how much is the total length?
Total length would be 1 kilometer 408 meters and 2 meters 52 centimeters.
But when there are two values in the meter, they can be added.
Yes, then it would be better. This means the total length of your factory boundary would be 1 kilometer 410 meters and 52 centimeters.
Yes, Ayushman. Now completely correct. There's just a little change. Why have you written "and" in it? It's not needed. Just remove it.
But on removing it, 3 units will be used in telling the same length, right?
So what? 3 or more units can also be used to write down and mention the length. This would be the correct way of writing it. 1 kilometer, 410 meters, 52 centimeters, which means 1 kilometer and 410 meters and 52 centimeters.
Now I understand completely.
You learned today about how lengths are added. And several units can be used to show the same length.
Introduction to Meter, Part 1. Today we will learn what is meter and the relationship between meter and centimeter. Hey Riyansh and Ayushman, why are you sitting and wasting time? Why don't you practice? Practice for what? Don't you know there is a long jump competition in our school next month and children from other schools are also participating in it. You both have been selected from your class to participate in the boys' long jump competition. That means we have to jump? Yes, and not just jump but jump longer than other children so that you can win the competition. We both are champions at jumping, so we don't need to practice for that. Okay? So tell me, how many meters can you jump? What is meant by meter? Meter is a unit of measurement of length. But ma'am, the length of objects is measured in centimeters, right? That's what sir told us in the classroom. Yes, length is measured in centimeters, but it is also measured in meters. Centimeter is a unit of measurement of length. Similarly, there are other units of measurement for measuring length. Meter is one of them. But ma'am, centimeter is already there as a unit of measurement for length. Then why do we need meter? Different units of measurement are required because lengths are different. Centimeter is very small, therefore it is used to measure small lengths. But to measure bigger lengths, meter is used.
We measured a brick in centimeters. Can we measure brick in meters too?
No, brick is small, therefore it cannot be measured in meters. Only those objects whose length is more than 100 centimeters are measured in meters. Why only bigger than 100 centimeters? Why not smaller than that? Because 1 meter has 100 centimeters. Or we can also say that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. Which means if the length of an object is 100 centimeters, then can we say that the object is 1 meter long? Absolutely right. Why not say 100 centimeters? Okay, come, I will explain you. If I ask you to measure the length of this seat, then what will you measure it with? With this small matchstick or with this big stick?
I will measure it with this stick.
Why?
Because with this I can measure quickly.
I will have to use matchstick several times. You mean to say that measuring this long bench with the stick is much easier and practical?
Yes.
In the same way, meter is used to measure long things or objects and centimeter is used to measure small things or objects. Now I understand why is long jump measured in meters. Why? Because a long jump will definitely be longer than 100 centimeters. So it makes it easier and practical to measure a long jump in meters. Now we have had a lot of talks. Come jump and show so that we can measure it.
Okay.
I will jump first. How long did I jump? Let's measure it. You have jumped 2 meters, Ayushman. Can you jump longer than this, Reyansh? It doesn't look very difficult. Let me try. Hey Reyansh, you have jumped longer than Ayushman. But there is not much difference. Let's measure, then we will know. Reyansh, you have jumped 2 meters and 10 centimeters. 2 meters or 10 centimeters? 2 meters, 10 centimeters. I didn't understand, ma'am. Tell me either in meters or in centimeters. Hey Reyansh, it is not necessary to tell length in just one unit of measurement. We can write it in 2 units of measurements as well. For instance, your long jump is 2 meters 10 centimeters. This means that you have jumped a length of 2 meters and 10 centimeters. Okay, now I understand. Reyansh has jumped just 10 centimeters more. So if I practice a little, then I will be able to jump longer. I know. You both can win the long jump competition. That is why I am saying that you need to practice. Okay, we will practice now. But how long did the winner of previous competition jump? In the previous competition, the longest jump was 2 meters and 80 centimeters. At present, I can jump 2 meters. I will have to jump an additional 80 centimeters.
And I will have to jump another 70 centimeters.
This is last year's record. It is possible that this year somebody may jump longer. Therefore, keep practicing and try to jump the longest. Okay, madam. Today you learned that meter is a unit of measurement to measure length. 1 meter has 100 centimeters. Apart from centimeter, meter can also be used to measure length. The length can be represented using both meter and centimeters together. For instance, Reyansh jumped 2 meters and 10 centimeters. Introduction to Meter Part 2. Today we will learn how to convert centimeter into meter, how to convert meter into centimeters, and also identify which objects are measured in meters and which objects are measured in centimeters.
Ayushman, teacher has given this form. We have to write our height in this so that she can put us in the correct group.
Show me. But what is the relation between our height and long jump?
I don't know. It is possible that tall people can jump longer. So, groups are made as per people's height. Ayushman, height is to be written in meters and centimeters in this.
Yes, but I know my height only in centimeters.
Me too. What to do now?
I think we can convert centimeters into meters.
How?
See, yesterday Madam told us that 1 meter has 100 centimeters.
Yes.
So with this information, I can write my height in meters and centimeters.
I still do not understand. Can you show me?
See, my height is 144 centimeters. Now let's write it like this. 100 centimeters plus 44 centimeters.
Oh, now I understand. 100 centimeters equal 1 meter. So we can write 100 centimeters as 1 meter.
Yes, and now I can write in the form 1 meter 44 centimeters.
Now I can also write my height by converting it into meters. Then what are you thinking? Come on, do it quickly. Look, my height is 140 centimeters. So I can write it as 100 centimeters plus 40 centimeters. Now I can write this 100 centimeters as 1 meter. Therefore, my height is 1 meter 40 centimeters.
The form has been filled. Come, let's give it to the teacher.
Let's go. I am little confused about centimeters and meters.
What is the confusion?
That is, which object's length is measured in centimeters and which objects in meters. The teacher had told us that objects with length more than 100 centimeters are measured in meters and objects with length less than 100 centimeters in centimeters.
I know that, but how do we figure that out in our daily life?
Which objects in our surroundings will we measure in centimeters and which one in meters?
Okay, that is easy.
See, this tree, it would be appropriate to measure it in meters as it is very big. The height of our school building too should be measured in meters.
Oh, okay, I get it now. Hey, the teacher is not here. Come, let's keep the form here.
Now tell me, which unit will you use to measure this table? We will measure it in meter as it is very big. So will we measure the stationery items on the teacher's table such as paper, stapler, pen in centimeters?
Yes, because all these objects are very small. There is one more question. We converted our height from centimeters to meters. But if we have to convert meters into centimeters, then what should we do? That is very easy. We are aware that 1 meter has 100 centimeters. So if an object is 4 meters long, then to convert its length into centimeters, we will multiply it with 100. Which means the length of a 4-meter object in centimeters would be 4 multiplied with 100
equals to 400 centimeter.
Yes, absolutely right.
Come on, now let's go and practice the long jump. Otherwise, our jump will have to be measured in centimeters.
Today we learned how to convert centimeters to meters and meters into centimeters.
And which objects should be measured in meters and which one in centimeters.
Introduction to Meter, Part 3. Today we will learn that while measuring the length, both value and unit are taken into account, and how to compare lengths written in two different units of measurement. What are you thinking, Vandana?
I'm not able to solve this question. How can I find the answer?
What is the question?
The question is, there are two objects. The height of first object is 10 meters and the height of the second object is 10 centimeters. Which among them is bigger?
What is there to think in this? This is a very easy question.
It is not easy. It is a wrong question. Look properly. The length of both the object is 10. That means both of them are of the same height.
Oh no, you got it all wrong. 10 is just the value. But to measure the length, we don't just look at the value, but we look at the unit of measurement too.
Meaning?
For example, in this question, the length of the first object is given as 10 meters. This means that 10 is the value and meter is the unit. Both are important to find the length of any object.
I did not understand. Tell me more.
Look, centimeter and meter are two different units of measurement to measure length. 1 centimeter is smaller than 1 meter. 1 meter has 100 centimeters in it, which means when an object will be 100 centimeters, then it will be equal to 1 meter.
Okay, like here, the length of one object is written with different units of measurement. Therefore, there is a difference in their value too.
Yes, and look, despite the value is less, the length of this object is equal to the other object.
Yes, I understand it now. 10 meter is bigger in 10 centimeter and 10 meter.
Do you know this length could be that of a sparrow and a dinosaur? Because a sparrow could be 10 centimeters long, whereas a dinosaur could be about 10 meters long.
Yeah, that's possible.
This is a question from the book. Now try to answer the question that I will ask you.
Ask me.
The length of an object is 200 centimeters and the length of the second object is 1 meter. Tell me which one among them is longer?
What is there to think here? The object with 1 meter length is bigger.
How?
You only told me that meter is big and centimeter is small. Therefore, 1 meter should be bigger.
I knew that would be your answer.
What did you think? Have I said anything wrong?
Yes, you got it wrong. You do one thing. Draw lines of both these lengths on the floor and see.
Okay. First, I will draw a line of 1 meter. Now, I will make a line of 200 centimeters. Hey, the centimeters line turned out to be longer. That means a value written in centimeters can be longer than one written in meter. I am confused. Now you explain.
Centimeter is smaller than meter. Actually, centimeter and meter are units of measurement for measuring length, and objects can be measured both in meters and centimeters.
Oh, this means the length which can be written in meters, the same can be written in centimeters too.
Yes, now you have understood.
This means there will be always confusion in this.
Won't be. Just remember one thing. When you are asked to compare lengths written in different units, then first write both of them in the same unit.
Meaning?
Look, one length is in centimeters and one in meters. Then write down both the lengths in meters by converting centimeters into meters.
Okay, now I understand. To convert a meter into centimeter, we will multiply it with 100. So we can write it as 100 centimeters. Now if we compare 100 centimeters with 200 centimeters, then we can tell that 200 centimeter is bigger.
Now convert 200 centimeters into meters and see.
200 centimeters divided by 100 gives 2 meters. Yes, even now you can compare 1 meter and 2 meters and say that 2 meter is bigger. Now I have understood completely.
What did you understand?
That centimeter and meter are used as units to measure length. To find the length of an object, both its value and unit of measurement are required. And that it is not appropriate to compare the length of different objects only based on their value. To correctly compare lengths of objects, the units of both should be made the same.
Real life problems. Today we'll see how mathematics can be used in day-to-day activities. Come, let's meet Vimal, a brilliant student of 8th standard. Vimal's family consists of an old ailing grandmother, his parents, and a younger sister. 3 months ago, Vimal's father met with an accident. As a result, he can't work now, and Vimal had to quit school and started working for home. He was suggested by his uncle to run a vegetable cart by borrowing some money from the bank. Vimal gets up early every morning and goes to the wholesale market to buy vegetables. Today Vimal bought potatoes, onions, ginger, garlic, spinach, cauliflower, pumpkin, radish, and green chilies. You can see their price according to the wholesale market. After returning home, Vimal prepared a list like this. Kids, can you tell the difference between the two lists? You can pause the video to find out the difference. For example, look at the prices of potato and onion. Yes, Vimal has increased the prices of all the vegetables by 2 rupees. This extra money is Vimal's daily earnings. Oh, let's see. Sharma auntie is buying some vegetables from him. She bought 2 kgs of potatoes, 1 kg of onions, half a kg of radish, half a kg cauliflower, and half a kg of ginger. Let's together find out the total price of Sharma auntie's purchase from Vimal. You can pause the video and calculate it with the help of Vimal's list. According to Vimal's list, 1 kg of potato cost rupees 20. So, 2 kgs will cost 2 multiplied by 20 means 40. 1 kg onion is 12 rupees. 1 kg radish is 10. So, it is half of it. On adding 5 up to 2 times gives us 10. So, cost of half a kg radish is 5 rupees. Similarly, if 1 kg cauliflower costs 6 rupees, half of it will cost 3 rupees. Now we are left with half a kg ginger, means half the price of 1 kg. You can pause the video and calculate it. 1 kg ginger costs 30 rupees, means half a kg ginger will cost half of 30 rupees. On dividing 30 into 2 equal halves, we will get 15. So, half a kg ginger will cost 15 rupees. So, this is the cost of shopping done by Sharma auntie. Now, let's add all this to find out the total price. Kids, you can pause the video to find out the sum. Look, Vimal has already added all the numbers. Is your total is also 75 rupees? Sharma auntie has to give 75 rupees to Vimal. A few notes have been placed in front of you. Let's help Sharma auntie to add the total price. You can use each note only once. You can pause the video to choose the note on your own. Have you guessed the same? Well done! Look, Vimal is giving some green chilies to his aunt for free. You saw Sharma auntie gave 75 rupees to Vimal. Can you guess how much profit Vimal has gained? Let's calculate this together. This is the price of the wholesale market. According to this, Sharma auntie should give rupees 36 for 2 kg potatoes, rupees 10 for 1 kg onion, rupees 4 for half a kg radish, rupees 2 for half a kg cauliflower, and rupees 14 for half a kg ginger. So, the total is 66 rupees. According to this, the costing of Sharma auntie's shopping should be rupees 66. But according to the pricing set by Vimal, Sharma auntie had to give 75 rupees. On subtracting 66 from 75 gives 9. So kids, Vimal has gained 9 rupees on the purchase made by Sharma auntie. So today we all have learned how to use mathematics in daily life activities. Real life problems. Today we'll see how mathematics can be used in day-to-day activities. Hey kids, you already know this talented boy Vimal, right? And this is his family. As you know, Vimal runs a vegetable cart to earn for his family. He was suggested by his uncle to take a loan from the bank for his vegetable cart. Vimal had borrowed 500 rupees from the bank to set up the vegetable cart. As a result, he pays 51 rupees to the bank every month. Vimal told his father that within 10 months, he will repay all the money to the bank. Kids, can you tell how much total money Vimal has to pay back to the bank? You can calculate this by pausing the video. We can calculate it like this. 51 multiplied by 10 gives 510. Vimal will pay 510 rupees to the bank in 10 months. Before taking money from the bank, one of the neighbors, Ghanshyam, suggested Vimal's father to borrow money from Pushkar, the moneylender. He said if Vimal borrows 500 from Pushkar, then at the end of 10 months, he had to return only 550 rupees to him. Kids, now you tell, which was the best suggestion for borrowing money, bank or moneylender? You can pause the video to find out the answer. After 10 months, Vimal will repay 510 rupees to the bank, while 550 rupees to the moneylender. So, Vimal has to repay less money to the bank. Have you guessed the same? Vimal is good at maths. That's why he has borrowed money from the bank itself. As you already know, Vimal loves to study. He daily encourages his sister to go to the school, and he himself is studying in the night school. He also wants to go to the college and then someday wants to start a shop of his own or maybe work in an office. So kids, today we all have learned how to use mathematics in daily life activities. Real life problems. Today we'll see how mathematics can be used in day-to-day activities. This is Karim Bhai. Last year, the yield of his crops was not so good. He watched in the Krishi Darshan program on Panchayat Kharch TV that the fertile capacity of land reduces due to years of farming. He also learned that if he grows grains of pulses along with wheat, the soil of his field will become fertile again. Today Karim Bhai is very happy and is going to buy some seeds of wheat and pulses. He bought 250 kgs of seeds of wheat and 5 kg seeds of pulses. If the cost of 50 kilograms of wheat seeds is 1100 rupees and the cost of 1 kilogram of pulses seeds is 120 rupees, so how much money did Karim Bhai spent on pulses seeds? Kids, you can pause the video and calculate it. The cost of 1 kg of pulses seeds is 120 rupees. So, the cost of 5 kgs would be 120 multiplied by 5, 600. Karim spent 600 rupees on pulses seeds. So Karim Bhai has bought the seeds and now is thinking how to sow them. Let's help him. This is the size of Kareem Bhai's field. He is thinking to plant both the seeds in this way. At this point, his friend Vijay arrives and suggests him that changing the sides of the crop on regular basis helps to maintain the fertility of the soil. Kareem liked the suggestion of his friend and sowed the seeds in the similar way. After 3 months, see how the pulses crop of Kareem is booming. Although it's still time for the wheat crop to get ready for the harvest, Kareem called workers to help him to harvest the pulses. Together they harvested 1 acre of crops in a day. So, can you tell how much time will they take to harvest 5 acres of crops? Kids, you can pause the video and calculate it. Yes, 5 acres of pulses will take 5 days to be harvested. Look, Kareem is going to the market to sell his pulses. Shopkeeper gives him 1,40,000 rupees. Kareem is very happy. Kids, if the selling price of 1 kg of pulses is 70 rupees, then how many kgs of pulses did Kareem sell? Kids, you can pause the video and calculate it. Should we subtract or divide 70 by 1,40,000? Yes, you are right. We will divide. Kids, you can pause the video and calculate it. On dividing 1,40,000 by 70, we get 2,000. So, Kareem had sold 2,000 kilograms of pulses in these 3 months. Now let's see how much profit Kareem has gained. Kids, you can pause the video and calculate it. He bought pulses seeds of 600 rupees. He gave 15,000 rupees to the workers. On adding both the amounts, we will get 15,600 rupees. Kareem got 1,40,000 rupees on selling the crop. If we subtract 15,600 from 1,40,000, we will be left with 1,24,400 rupees. So kids, Kareem has clearly made a profit of 1,24,400 rupees. Look how happy is Kareem. Today we learned how to use various operations in mathematics. Real life problems. Today we'll see how mathematics can be used in day-to-day activities. Hey kids, you already know about Kareem brother, right? 6 months before, he had sown the seeds of pulses and wheat in his field. 3 months before, he had harvested the pulses. Now look, his field is booming with the wheat crops. In order to protect his crop field from unseasonal rains and insects, he wanted to harvest and sell it as soon as possible. For this, he hires 15 laborers. Together they harvested 1 acre of crops today. So kids, can you tell how much time will they take to harvest 5 acres of crops? Kids, you can pause the video and calculate it. If it takes 1 day to harvest 1 acre of crops, so 5 acres of crops will get harvested in 5 days. See, together they harvested the whole field in 5 days. Today Kareem is going to the market to sell his crop again. His crop is being weighed in the shop. The shopkeeper gave him 1,53,000 rupees. Kareem is very happy. If the selling price of 1 kg wheat is 17 rupees, so can you tell how many kgs of wheat is sold by Kareem? Kids, you can pause the video and calculate it. If we can buy 1 kg of wheat at the rate of 17 rupees, how much wheat can be purchased with 1,53,000 rupees? For this, we'll use the operation of division. On dividing 1,53,000 by 17, we'll get 9,000. So Kareem has sold 9,000 kilograms of wheat today. Kareem has reached his home and is doing the calculations. He wants to see how much profit he has made today. As you know, Kareem had bought 250 kilograms of wheat seeds. 50 kilograms of wheat seeds cost 1100 rupees. So the price of 250 kilograms of wheat seeds will be 50 multiplied by 5, which is 250. So 1100 multiplied by 5 is... Kids, you can pause the video and calculate it. We can also add 1100 up to 5 times, like this. Or we can multiply 1100 by 5 like this. So kids, have you noticed we have got the same answer with both the operation of mathematics, 5000 and 500. You can choose any of the operation whichever you find easier. So Kareem had spent 5,500 rupees on wheat seeds. Kareem pays 500 rupees to each worker for a day's work. So in total, how much money did Kareem pay them for 5 days of work? Kids, you can pause the video and calculate it. A worker got 500 rupees as wages for a day. So total wages for 5 days is 500 multiplied by 5 means 2,500 rupees. There were a total of 15 workers, so we'll multiply 15 by 2,500. And the answer is 37,500 rupees. In total, Kareem gave 37,500 rupees to the workers. Come, let's find out the total profit earned by Kareem. Kids, you can pause the video and calculate it. 5,500 rupees was spent on wheat seeds. Total wages paid to laborers was 37,500 rupees. On adding both of them, we'll get a total of 43,000. Kareem got 1,53,000 on selling the wheat crops. Now if we subtract 43,000 from 1,53,000 rupees, we'll get 1,10,000. Oh wow! Kareem has earned a profit of 1,10,000 rupees. Kareem is very happy because by growing 2 different kinds of crop, his field has become more fertile. At the same time, now he can buy a cow with the profit he earned by selling both the crops. He's also planning to keep the rest of the money in the bank. So today we learned how to use various operations in mathematics.
Containers for measuring volume of liquids. Today, we will learn how to measure volume of liquids using containers of standard units. Why are you all looking so upset?
Elephant was ordered by his mother to bring 2 liters of milk, But he forgot to bring vessel to fetch it. We all are looking for a right vessel to help the elephant. Can you help us?
Yes, I will definitely help you. But first answer some of my questions.
Yes, ask.
Okay, just look at the nearby shop and tell me what are those things that are found in a bottle.
Bottle of honey. Bottle of cold drink. Bottle of oil.
Bottle of shampoo.
Well done. Can you match all these liquids with their right amount?
Bottle of honey is of 500 ml. Bottle of cold drink is of 200 ml. Bottle of oil is of 5 liters.
Bottle of shampoo is of 1 liter.
Exactly. So we saw that we use liters as units and big containers for liquids which have more volume. And for liquids whose volume is less, we use small containers and smaller units such as milliliter for them.
Okay, so we want a big container for the elephant so that he can fetch 2 liters of milk.
Yes, you got it right.
Could you please explain it more elaborately?
Sure, look at this example. Chandu brother, how much milk do you want today? I want 4.5 liters of milk today.
Look, Bholu, the milkman has 4 vessels. The largest one is of 1 liter, then 500 ml, then 250 ml, and then the smallest one is of 100 ml.
Brother, which vessel will you use to give 4.5 liters of milk?
I will use 1 liter container for 4 times to measure 4 liters of milk and 500 liters of container to measure the rest half a liter of the milk.
Let me tell you another way. You can also measure 4 liters of milk by using 1 liter of container for 4 times and 250 ml container for 2 times.
Yes, this can also be done. Pinky, bring a container to fetch the milk.
Bholu, which container will be perfect for fetching milk?
I think this jug is perfect to contain all the milk.
This jug wouldn't be able to contain 4.5 liters of milk. This will only contain 2 liters of milk. We shall use a small vessel. Daddy, is the vessel perfect for fetching milk?
Pinky, this vessel is small for containing that much milk. It can only carry 4 liters of milk. Bring a bigger vessel than this.
Bholu, this vessel is also not fit for carrying that much milk.
So you take this big vessel.
Yes, that would be fine. Is it the right vessel?
Yes, this can carry 4.5 liters of milk. Let me pour milk into this.
Daddy, how much milk have you used for making tea?
Son, I have used 1 liter of milk. Okay, now tell me, if I have used 1 liter of milk out of 4.5 liters of milk, then how much milk is left?
After taking out 1 liter, we are left with 3.5 liters of milk.
Very good, Pinky. Now, could you please bring the cup of tea?
Sure, Daddy. Here is the cup of tea.
If each cup carries 200 milliliter of tea and I have made 10 cups of tea, now can you tell me how much milliliters of tea I have prepared?
2000 milliliter.
200 multiplied by 10 means 2 liter.
Yes, you both are right.
Daddy, how many teacups are sold yet?
I have sold 10 cups till now.
7 cups means how much tea we have sold, Bolu?
If one cup contains 200 milliliter of tea, then 7 cups contain 7 multiplied by 200. That is 1400 milliliter of tea. So it means 1 liter and 400 milliliter of tea is sold.
Yes, you are right. Now tell me how much tea is left?
This is quite easy. If we subtract 1400 from 2 liters or 2000 milliliter of tea, we will be left with 600 ml of tea.
So, what have we learnt from this example?
We have learned how to measure volume of liquids using containers of standard units. Now we can help elephant.
Yes, now I will go and bring a vessel to fetch milk.
Yes, you have made the right decision. Today, we have learned how to measure volume of liquids using containers of standard units.